Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered, three-handle family credential.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, Armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
Well, g'day B Plus players. It's your favourite host here. It's BigBoy Mikey. Let me welcome you all to another episode of the B Plus Podcast. It is Wednesday, and I know you all know what that means. It's King of Sports Universe time, or King of Sports Podcast time. And you know what? Welcome to my castle. It's time for you to all now enjoy the King of Sports cast with BigBoy Mikey. Yes, I am here riding solo tonight. Greg isn't with us this week. However, I'm just as exciting on my own. Now, you know the drill about the King of Sports cast. It's a cast that covers King of Sports Universe, headlined by the true King of Sports, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and all their affiliates, so the affiliates in the USA Ring of Honor, in Mexico, CMLL, and in the UK, RevPro. Now, usually we would look at all 4 companies in depth this week, every week. However, just this week, there's not a lot to cover. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go through the Ring of Honor TV stuff this week. It's just been a real busy week, obviously, with the WWE side of things with TakeOver, Survivor Series, and whatnot. So, unfortunately, this week it's just a little bit light on with Ring of Honor. A couple of little light things on with RevPro. CMLL, there's actually been some really exciting action, so I will dive into that soon. And, of course, New Japan with World Tag League kicking off, and all the great things there. So, look, sit back, maybe about the next half an hour, 45 minutes, however long this does end up going for. Look, it's just going to be me, some news, some results, some previews for the next week. So sit tight and let me take you around the world. So look, let's start with Ring of Honor. Look, this one, like I said, this one's going to be a quick one. As unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to catch up on Ring of Honor TV this week. But look, I'm going to grab a little couple of pieces of the news from Ring of Honor. Now, it has been confirmed that Jay Lethal, the Ring of Honor World Champion, has re-signed with Ring of Honor for another 4 years, which is awesome news for Ring of Honor. They are going into testing times with the ending of some contracts, potentially ending some contracts with the likes of Young Bucks, Cody, Hangman, Marty's Girl, and so on. So, Jay Lethal is one of those guys that's stuck through. I know he was out Impact for a while, back in their TNA days, but whether it was TNA or Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal hasn't really left, that side of things. So it's good that Jay Lethal is staying with Ring of Honor. I'm hoping there's a few others that do stay, like guys like Flip Gordon and so on, which is great news. Great news for Ring of Honor. Now, another piece of news this week. There's a couple of official final battle matches have been locked in. So we can confirm now that Jay Lethal versus Cody for the Ring of Honor title will take place at Final Battle. We'll have Jeff Cobb taking on Hangman Page for the TV title. Matt Taven will defend his quote-unquote real world title against Dalton Castle. And we now know 3 out of the 4 competitors in the Fatal 4-Way women's honor title match, which is, of course, champions Sumi Sakai, Madison Rain, and Karen Q. Not too sure who the fourth is yet, but obviously we will find out very soon. So some great matches there settled for final battle. It should be a great card. I can't think of the date, but it is I think it's the 19th of December or 17th of December, something like that. Please make sure you do head on over to www.rohwrestling.com for all the latest news, tickets, merch, and all that good stuff. And the dates for Final Battle will be on there as well. So definitely check out ringofhonorwrestling.com for that. That's pretty much it for Ring of Honor this week. I'm going to jump straight over to Mexico, actually, because CMLL, my Lucha Hombres, had actually a busy week this week, even as somewhat early as today. Now, look, usually with CMLL, I only get to watch the Arena Mexico Super Friday, the Viernes show, which is, of course, shown on Saturdays here in Australia on YouTube live. You can watch them back on the YouTube channel. However, I was very intrigued. Actually, I saw the poster going around on social media on the CMLL's Reddit page and on Facebook and so on. There was a advertisement for the Monday Night Arena Pueblo show. So don't usually catch the Monday Night show, which is Tuesdays here for Australia. But there was a World Heavyweight Championship match on today, which I managed to catch before I got onto cast tonight. So I will go through the results of Super Friday TV results. Then we will talk about the heavyweight title match today, and there was a returning legend on today's show who hasn't been seen in a couple of months, but it's always good to see him. So let's tuck into the results. So for Super Friday, we had the opener, which was Espanto Jr. and Graco, the Technicals, defeating the Oruros Astral and Electrico. They won that 2-1. We had a 6 women's match, which was La Guerrera, Luvia, and Marcela, defeating the team of Dallas La Carabina, La Amapola, and Tiffany. They won the match 2-1. We had the team of Misterioso Jr., Okamura, and Vangelis, defeating Esfinge, Guerrero Mayo Jr., and Rey Camera. They won that 2-1. Then we had the Leyenda de Plata 2018 semi-final. So we touched on in the last couple of weeks the Torneo Cybernetico match. Basically, it's usually like an 8 or 9-on-9 tag match. It's basically like a baseball match in a weird way. You got your lineups. You start with your captain, and if that number one batter or number one wrestler tags out, he's got to go to the back of the line. Number 2 wrestler comes in. Same as if, say, number 3 wrestler gets pinned. Number 4 is the next guy to come into the match. So the Leyenda de Plata 2018, which is an annual tournament for CMLL, dating back years. So on Super Friday, we had the 2018 semi-final. So the way that they sorted this was with a quick little battle royal, and every odd and even numbered eliminated person were on either side of the team. So that's how they decided the team. So we had the battle royal, and then we got the teams. So the teams for the Cybernetica were as follows. So Team 1 was Dragon Rogo Jr., Flyer, Templario, Mephisto, Mystico, Titan, Soberano Jr., and New Japan's Kawato-san, as they took on the team of Volador Jr., Triton, Elodaz, Felino, Barbario, Cavanario, King Phoenix, Virus, and Tiger. Look, they've done a lot of Torneo Cybernetico matches in the last, say, 6-7 weeks, especially leading into the start of October, when they had all the Ring of Honor and New Japan guys in the match. Look, this one wasn't the best one. it's what they've set up is what's amazing. So the two men, I should state this with the Cybernetico matches, the final two men, regardless of if it's two people from one team or just one-on-one from each team, you need a winner. So, but with this one, because it was a semi-final, usually, so say there was the final two people, so still the final two people were King Phoenix and Barbaro Cavernario. So they were the final two people standing at the end of the match, and they were on one team. Usually in a Torneo Cybernetico match, that one-on-one would happen straight away, and you get a official result on that night. But because this is a semi-final, the final, which is going to be a one-on-one between Barbaro Cavernario and King Phoenix, will actually take place. That match will actually take place next week on Super Friday. And you know what? That one-on-one is going to be fantastic. King Phoenix, as you all know from Impact, All In, every other show on bloody pro wrestling, him and Penta Jr. Just dominating the pro wrestling world. And Barbaro Cavernario, who is one of the best talents in CMLL at the moment. That's going to be a phenomenal one-on-one. So a great Torneo Cybernetico result. The match itself wasn't fantastic. A little bit underwhelming, in my opinion. Despite some of the great names in there, like, Rojo Jr. and Mystico and Titan and Soberano Jr. and Volador Jr. and so on. But you know what? I'm more excited for next week. But crazily enough, that semi-final match for the Leonardo de Plata was not actually the main event of this week's show. The main event was actually the team of Ultimo Guerrero, Gran Guerrero, and Pentagon as they took on Caristico, Valiente, and Diamante Azul. And Team Ultimo Guerrero won that match. So, fantastic card. Like I said, the Plata, the Cybernetico match, wasn't the best. Got some really cool result. Got a really cool result, like I said. Other matches, a couple of cool matches to check out. The main event match, always great to see Ultimo Guerrero and Pentagon Jr. Tagging together. But speaking of Ultimo Guerrero, today he defended his CMLL World Heavyweight title against Sanson of NGD. I wasn't aware that this match was happening until I saw the poster the other day, and I sort of took me back. I'm like, it's very rare that CMLL, the World Heavyweight title matches don't just come around, willy-nilly. So I was like, oh my god, okay, cool. I had to get onto this. It was a awesome match, despite shitty stuff from the referee trying to screw Ultimo Guerrero around and counting slow for him and counting fast for Sanson. But ultimately, no pun intended, Ultimo Guerrero defended his title and got to keep his title after defeating Sanson. But Sanson looked really good, and Sanson's, I think I've talked about him in the last couple of weeks. Sanson and his team, NGD, they're three guys that are just really doing good things in Mexico right now. Sanson and the other name forbids me, I'm very sorry. But the team reminds me of where Penta and Phoenix were a few years ago. Now obviously Penta and Phoenix been two of the biggest luchadors in the world. Outside of guys like Rey Mysterio and so on. So, hopefully Sanson does get there. This was a great opportunity for him. I'm sure he'll get another shot, but, King Ultimo Guerrero, good to see him still at the top of the card. But the cool thing today, also, on the Monday Night Arena Pueblo show, was the return of a legendary figure in Mexican wrestling. That man was Octagon. Now, Octagon is very famous from the 90s, tagging with the likes of El Hijo del Santo, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and so on, in both AAA, Lucha Libre, and CMLL. He's done some legendary things. Octagon is kind of the reason why Kalisto is sort of going around, in the world of pro wrestling. they created an Octagon Junior character, not related, which was actually Kalisto's, it's the character of Kalisto. In a little bit of trivia, when Octagon Junior's character was created, which is now Kalisto, they needed a Rudo go against him, and that guy ended up being Pentagon. So Octagon Junior, Pentagon Junior. So it's a funny little tidbit that's how the character Pentagon Junior came about, was spawned off who we now know as Kalisto, who's jumping around Monday Night Raw and 205 Live in the Lucha House Party. So it's cool when you get those little interesting little twists in the history of the masks and names in Lucha Libre. So it was cool to see Octagon return to the ring. I think the last match he had in CMLL was in August. Obviously, he's not a full-time competitor. He's 57 now. Not the oldest guy in this match, mind you. He teamed with Stuka Jr. and Blue Panther, which I think both are well into their mid-50s. Blue Panther Jr., sorry. I think they're both in their 50s. And they took on the team of Mephisto and Ephisto, who are both 49 and 39, I want to say, or something like that. And then you had Fuerza Guerrera, who I'm pretty sure is 67. So there was a lot of age and experience in this one match. I always find it fun to see legends like Octagon back in the ring. Countries like Mexico and Japan really do their legends right. Mexico, not so much. They kind of don't look too good at times. They can look a little bit slower. But, they're not hogging the spotlight. They're not taken away from the young guys. So, it's always fun to see them. But that's pretty much it for CMLL this week. Of course, jump onto their YouTube, search CMLL on YouTube, and you can get the Friday, Monday, and Tuesday shows every week. Saturday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the Australians playing at home. I really recommend getting into Lucha Libre, guys. I've been touching on it with Greg in the last couple of weeks. I really do want to look into doing a Lucha Libre cast once a month, kind of like the Puro cast that we're doing on the B+. Really want to get into Lucha Libre cast because I was always a Lucha Libre fan as a kid. Growing up watching WCW Monday Nitro, I discovered what AAA was. Discovered what CMLL was as a spawn of that, and getting those cool tapes of Ray and Octagon and El Hijo del Santo and Dr. Wagner Jr. and El Connect and all these sort of guys that just awesome. And you look at YouTube clips of older guys like El Santo and Fishman and all these guys from back in the 70s, 80s. So I really recommend getting into Lucha Libre. It's been glossed over a lot in the last couple of years. My apologies. Yes, there's the top guys like Ray, Penta, Phoenix, Kalisto, Sin Cara, which was Hunico. There was a lot of those type guys floating about. But unfortunately, AAA and CMLL kind of got lost in the little shuffle there because CMLL kind of like New Japan in a way where it's a little bit more serious. There's not as silly, gimmicky stuff. They keep the same traditions from 40, 50 years ago. AAA is, it's a mess, but it's fun. It's full of color, characters, gimmicks, legends like Jeff Jarrett, Dr. Wagner, young guys, like La Parka's kid, El Hijo de La Park. There's so many characters. I truly recommend getting into Lucha Libre. I wanted to talk about Lucha Libre a little bit more this week because Ring of Honor and RevPro a little bit light on this week, and I knew I had time to not kill on this cast, but I had room to discuss. So I really want to bring Lucha Libre back to life in Australia, outside of Ray and Kalisto and Graham Metalik and the Lucha House Party. So that's all for the CMLL side of things. If you want to talk more about Lucha Libre, come find me on Twitter.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Sorry to interrupt the podcast, B Plus players, but I just need to take a second to tell you about Threadbox. Threadbox is a subscription service for men that makes looking good easier than ever before. Just fill out a few questions to start building your style profile, and from there you will be paired with a stylist who will send you new threads once a month, so you don't have to worry about checking the stores and finding new clothes. It's like having a personal shopper and stylist at your fingertips, and you just sit back, relax, wait for your awesome new gear to arrive in the mail. They sent me a box this month. I got a new pair of jeans. I got 2 shirts. You can check out the unboxing video on the Facebook page. And the best part about it is you can get in touch with your stylist by email at any time. So if you need new singlets, if you need new long sleeves, if you need new shoes, if there's something specific you want, you just let them know what you need and they'll tailor the box to your specific requests. It's a completely personalized service available on any budget. You'll always get way more value than you pay for because Threadbox work with all the best brands. Boxes start from just $40, and if you use our code, the B+15 at checkout today, you're going to get 15% off your first box. So what are you waiting for, man? Like, if you want to look better with less effort, head to threadbox.com.au and use the code the B+15 to get your box today. The B+ is growing, and we want you to be a part of it. So if you have an idea for a podcast, or if you want to write reviews for shows, whether that's WWE, New Japan, local shows especially, we have a big focus on Aussie Graps here. So if you go out to shows in Melbourne, we specifically need people in New Zealand, Tasmania, and Queensland. If you go out to shows in those areas, please let us know. We would love to hear from you. We would love to work with you. If you have a passion for wrestling and you want to write about anything wrestling, it can be anything. It can be listicles, it can be in-depth articles, opinion pieces, show reviews, whatever you want to do. If it's wrestling, it's fair game. Shoot us a message or send an email to theb+@unchained.media. That's theb+@unchained.media. Let us know what you want to do and we'll get back to you and we'll work something out because the B+ is growing and we want to grow the B+ family. Now, on with the show.
But we're going to jump onto RevPro for now. Like I said, I've got nothing for results or any reviews from RevPro this week. I know there was a show in Southampton, but I haven't seen any feedback or any results for that. But just one little bit of news for RevPro. 2 bit of news. One, more of a reminder that the RevPro title is going to be defended at Wrestle Kingdom. We did touch on it last week, but I just wanted to reconfirm with everyone that everyone's aware that Tomohiro Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. will be going one-on-one at Tokyo Dome on New Japan's grandest night of the year for the RevPro title, which is absolutely cool. However, this Thursday, we did touch on it that Park, formerly known as Neville on 205 Live WWE, is returning to RevPro this Thursday, November 22nd. However, when we did report it last, we didn't know who the opponent would be. We do now know it's going to be Speedball Mike Bailey, who's, insane. So this match will be awesome to watch. I don't think it's going to be live anywhere. I'm sure it'll be up on RPW On Demand not long after the event. So be sure to check it out. Go to revolutionprowrestling.com or check out RevPro Wrestling on Facebook and Twitter and such. Look, we're going to jump straight over to New Japan because it has been a fun start to the World Tag League. World Tag League got a little bit of flack for the teams that were selected for it. I thought the teams were okay. I don't know if I like the one league thing. I prefer to have two blocks, separate the matches, but because the point schedule is going to be way out of whack. They have records for a reason. I like to match those records. If you're able to win every single match, you can walk away with 26 points, which in any sort of G1 league in New Japan is insane. So, but that's just one of the things. So look, what I want to do is I want to run past the 2 cards from both Saturday and Sunday, as I was able to watch them live. They were in English commentary on NewJapanWorld.com. So look, I will smash through the results, especially the World Tag League actual tournament results. Talk about what I did like from those two shows, and then we will jump into what's coming up this week because there's a lot of matches this week. I think there's 6 shows to get to next week's podcast, so I will run down each of the tag league matches that we'll get this week. I'm not going to touch on every single match because there's just a lot of matches on every card. Some pointless, some are not. So let me jump into the results first up. So on Saturday, live from Kanagawa, I think you want to say it. I'm sorry if I butchered that. We had the team of Jeff Cobb and Michael Elgin defeat Yuya Yamura and Yota Tsuji in a non-tag league matchup. We had Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. defeat Ren Narita and Tomawaki Honma. Again, not a World Tag League matchup. Then we had a 6-man match. A 6-man... Whoa, what's the right word? A 6-man Suzuki-Gun all-out battle. We had the team of Lance Archer, Davey Boy Smith, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru taking on Minoru Suzuki, Takashi Iizuka, and El Desperado. It's so weird that New Japan, do this and they don't even blink an eye. Having El Despo and Yoshinobu going against each other is just odd. But anyway, and they don't hold back. But anyway, that was a non-tournament match. But let's get into some tournament matches. So we had the team of David Finlay and Juice Robinson defeat Shota Umino and Ayota Yoshida. So David Finlay and Juice Robinson go 1-0. We had the legendary teams face each other. Yuji Nagata and Manabu Nakanishi defeated the team of Satoshi Kojima and Hiroyoshi Tenzan, also known as Tenkozy. Team Justice go 1-0. In the third World Tag League match of the night, we had Beretta and Chucky T take on Hangman Page and Yujiro Takahashi with best friends, Beretta and Chucky T getting the win there. Then we had the team of Tangaloa and Tama Tonga take on Toa Hanare and Togi Makabe in the World Tag League, and the defending champs Tangaloa and Tama Tonga pick up a victory there. Then in the final match of the night, which is not a tag league match, it was a LIJ versus Chaos 10-man match. We had the team of Sho, Yo, Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kazuchika Okada taking on the team of Tetsuya Naito, Evil, Sanada, Bushi, and Shingo Takagi, with Naito picking up the victory for his team on Sho in a very fun 10-man tag. So that was Saturday night. Sunday night, we actually went to Korakuen Hall in Tokyo for another fun night of action. We had David Finlay and Juice Robinson defeating Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji in a non-tournament match. We had Tanga and Tama defeat Narita and Honma in a non-tag match. We had an 8-man match. We had Makabe, Toa Hanare, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, and Satoshi Kojima taking on Shota Umino, Ayato Yoshida, Manabu Nakanishi, and Yuji Nagata. This time we saw Toa Hanare pick up the victory on Shota Umino. We had a 6-man match of Yujiro Takahashi, Hangman Page, and Kota Ibushi. A weird version of the Elite, kind of, taking on Chucky T, Beretta, and Hiroki Goto. Then we had another 6-man match, which was Okada, Yo, and Sho, taking on Tetsuya Naito, Bushi, and Shingo Takagi. Another Chaos vs. LIJ match. In World Tag League action, we had Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith of Suzuki Gun / Killer Elite Squad fame taking on Minoru Suzuki and Takashi Iizuka of Suzuki Gun fame. It's so crazy to see stable versus stable matches. Then we had another World Tag League match, which was Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi taking on Yano and Ishii. with Zack Sabre Jr. picking up the victory there. Then in the final match of the night, which was another World Tag League match, we had Evil and Sonata defeating the team of Jeff Cobb and Michael Elgin. And they are the results from the first two nights, which is... it was a great weekend of action. All the tag league matches were really fun. Personal little favorite of mine was Yuji Nagata and Nakanishi versus Tenzin and Satoshi Kojima. God, Kojima can still go, can't he, guys? He's still a legend. But no, look, all the action's been so fun over the weekend. Like I said, all those teams that we said are now 1-0, but let's just touch on where the ladder stands at the end of the weekend. So we got the team of Yuji Nagata and Manabu Nakanishi, Juice Robinson and David Finlay, Best Friends, Beretta and Chucky T, Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, Sonata and Evil. Those teams are all on 2 points, with Makabe and Hanare, Tenkozy, Yoshida and Mino, Elgin and Cobb, Ishii and Yano, Page and Yujiro, Minoru Suzuki, Takashi, Izuka, all on 0 so far. So look, it's going to be a wild couple of days. I think there's 23 nights all up for this tournament. It's going to be wild. There's going to be so many matchups. Whether it's a G1, Super Junior, Best of Super Juniors, or Tag League. It feels crazy already as it is, and you got 2 blocks, usually separating like 8 people in each block, and you feel like those 7 matchups for each person does take up a lot of time. This is, 14 matches for each. So there's 14 teams all up, so there's 13 matches each for each team. So it's going to be a long tournament. But what I'm going to do now is just going to run through this coming week, all the different World Tag League matches that are on. Unfortunately, a lot of these aren't going to be on New Japan World Live. They're going to be on... They will be on New Japan World on delay, probably like a day or two, maybe the next day. They will be in Japanese commentary. Unfortunately, just some of these smaller arenas, like, tonight, unfortunately, I couldn't get the results of tonight for the cast from Toyama. They go back to Kanagawa, cities like Saitama, Aichi. A lot of these guys just don't have access to a lot of broadcast options. So doing the English commentary can be hard at some of these places. So yeah, like I said, I'll just touch on some of the Tag League tournament matchups for this week. There's about 7 shows. I think 6 shows between tonight and next week's podcast, which is and next week. So in 7 more days. So let's touch on them. So tonight there were a few matches. Unfortunately, I don't have the results for these. So as of recording and as of release, we won't know the results. When this is released on Wednesday, you will know the results of these matches, but unfortunately, I just cannot tell you. So the tag league matches for tonight were Hanare and Makabe versus Nakanishi and Nagata. Cobb and Elgin are taking on Davey Boy Smith and Archer. Yano and Ishii were taking on Suzuki and Izuka. You got Finlay and Juice taking on Tama and Tanga. Then you got so they're the tag league matches from tonight's action. Tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, November 21, you got Kojima and Tenzin versus Shota and Ayota Yoshida. You got Chucky T and Beretta taking on Taichi and Zack Sabre. You got Sonata and Evil taking on Takahashi and Hangman Page. That's from Wednesday night. So for Friday night, the tournament matches, you got Shota and Ayota Yoshida taking on Chucky T and Beretta. You got Nakanishi and Nagata taking on Takashi Izuka and Minoru Suzuki. You got Finlay and Juice taking on Cobb and Elgin. You got Hanare and Makabe taking on Sonata and Evil. On Saturday, we got Yujiro and Hangman taking on Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. We got Kojima and Tenzin taking on Tanga and Tama. Yano and Ishii will take on Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer. On Sunday, we have Shota and Yoda taking on Yujiro and Hangman. We got Manabu Nakanishi and Yuji Nagata taking on Yano and Ishii. You got Satoshi Kojima and Tenzin taking on Cobb and Elgin. You got Hanare and Makabe taking on Finlay and Juice. You got Tanga and Tama taking on Takashi Iizuka and Minoru Suzuki. You got Chucky T. Beretta taking on Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer. Sonata and Evil taking on Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. Then on Monday, so the night before I get to the next cast, there will be Shota and Ayoda taking on Taichi and Zack Sabre. Nakanishi Nagata taking on Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer. You got Hanare and Makabe taking on Yujiro and Hangman. You got Chucky T and Beretta taking on Iizuka and Minoru Suzuki. You got Kojima and Tenzin taking on Sonata and Evil. You got Finlay and Juice taking on Yano and Ishii. Cobb and Elgin taking on Tanga and Tama. So that is all the World Tag League action coming up this week. So check on New Japan World for when those matches become available. Like I said, they will be available in Japanese only this week. I'm not too sure if they plan on recording some English, over it once the tournament's done. But yeah, so look, a lot of fun action coming up this week in New Japan. And the Tag League is, once we get to next week's podcast, the Tag League will really be taking shape. We'll know exactly how that will play out going into Wrestle Kingdom. Now, just a couple little bits of news from me from New Japan. During these last two shows, Hiroki Goto has baited Kota Ibushi into a Never title match, and that's going to take place at the World Tag League Finals, the finals night, which is the 9th of December. This will be for the Never title, which is very interesting to me, because the rumor always had it that it was going to be Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay for the Never title at Wrestle Kingdom. I know a lot of people were rooting for that. Ospreay was supposed to be facing Tai Chi for the Never title earlier this month, but Ospreay fell to an injury over in the UK, and unfortunately was ruled out. Goto took his place. Goto ended up winning the title. So now I'm thinking that if Kota beats Hiroki Goto, maybe Ospreay is healthy enough to come back by Wrestle Kingdom. He'll take on Kota Ibushi for the Never title at Kingdom. That would be my best bet. That would be a hell of a match. So that's cool. That the World Tag League Finals is going to have a cool title match like that. In some good news, it was great to have Callis back on commentary over the weekend to start with. But in some good news, and the final bit of news for this week, Hiromu Takahashi, who was injured 6 months ago, just after his awesome Best of Super Juniors run at the show in San Francisco. My apologies. He was injured to an unfortunate event in a match against Dragon Lee. A lot of people thought it was going to take a year or two for him to get back. Neck injuries are very serious. But there was a tweet that came out today that recovery equals 93%. So, look, I still don't expect him to be back until at least Best of Super Juniors, or at least till March, April, at least. But yeah, it's good to hear that his recovery is going better than expected. We do miss Hiromu on New Japan. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is another week of King of Sportscast in the rearview mirror. Quick and easy one this week. A little bit to take in with the New Japan and CMLL stuff, but look, thank you for listening to my solo cast. Of course, you can find me on all the socials. You can find me at BigBoy_Mikey86 on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the B Plus on Instagram and Facebook at the B Plus Wrestling, and at Twitter. You can find us on Twitter at the B Plus Wrestle, because wrestling wouldn't fit. You can also find these podcasts all across great platforms like Spotify and so on. So please give us a like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
So, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Hold three. The moss covered. Three-handle family credential. Mamma mia. It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin. Number 4, armbar.